Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more Rogue Trader. So I've done the travelling over to Janus, basically, to look for this thing that Jay is after, this seal of some kind. I don't really understand it. We're looking for a servitor, though, who's going to stamp it for us. So I thought I'll just do all the travelling to get here, and we could find it together. We just have to discover its location. I mean, it said in the palace. I guess it could be in the palace grounds. We can't get into the sort of heretical section anymore.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
I mean, considering this is our palace, we don't have a lot of it sort of open for our access, do we? Well, perhaps it's in the grounds. Look at the map. Yeah, I don't see anything there, so let's go into the estate. I mean, it could even be in that sort of weird pump room thing that we found before.
Embrace true
We've got a few
power.
little side passages and stuff, obviously, don't we? So just could be this one. No. Well, let's poke into the corners and see what we can find. Might be on the map. Sometimes things are marked on the map. That's Attilius Quint. Let's go up both sides of the palace just in case.
Powers unseen.
There's a servitor I'm
cover
looking
my
for, isn't it?
path.
Wait a minute. Oh, one of the... I thought it said servitors. Oh, well. Maybe I misread that bit of dialogue. Okay, fair enough. Well, why don't we go and speak to Attilius Quint then? It's probably a safe bet. If it's an official person, it's probably him. Here we go. Can't remember his voice. Your ladyship, the subjects of Janus welcome you. What cares have brought you to our humble world on this occasion? I require a seal to certify a Mercatum Tabula Officiale. The secretary nods energetically. Of course, of course. It would be an honour to assist the rogue trader. Wait but a few minutes, your ladyship, and your humble servant will have your seal ready. Jay's expression is pensive as she twists a lock of hair around her metal finger. Interesting, Shireen. I assumed we would be dealing with servitors, but no. Some places in your domain still have this work being performed by people of flesh and blood. I beg your pardon? What's this about servitors? I have faithfully performed my sacred duties to the Imperium and the Administratum all my life. Guarding the seals is part of that. And after half a century, not a single seal damaged. I keep them in a special case and dye all the handles every month, as the rules stipulate. Jay shrugs. I am merely repeating the word of the Master of Seals on Dargonus. Servitors have replaced an entire category of lowly bureaucrats assigned to the Von Valancius planet, so around 10 years ago now. But after 70 years of service and not a single directive, not from Holy Terror or from Dargonus, a complete breakdown in communication. What a farce! What an insult against all processes! Scarlet patches blossom on the secretary's pale face. But this is easily remedied. If the Administratum requires such a servant, then I will immediately begin preparations for servitorization. Oh no, don't do that. The will of the Lex Imperialis is supreme. Jay nervously licks her lips. She clearly did not expect this response to her remark. Attilius, I do not think the Exalted One has any particular desire to see you lobotomized and turned into a mindless clanking ghoul, just because someone somewhere changed the law. If we were dogmatic, we could make him do it. And we're going to want to take one of the iconoclast options. I'll take this one, because it's got the check. Maybe it's a higher value response. You can serve humanity while remaining as you are. Could a servitor replace a true administrative officer who is passionate about his work? After lots of prevarication, Attilius's hunched figure sags. Oh, of course, you are right. I will continue to serve Janus and the von Valancia's protectorate as before, and today I will dispatch a request for copies of edicts issued by the Imperium over the last 50 years. Who knows what else we've missed here on Janus? Jay lets out a breath, obviously relieved. Oh, that is wonderful, Attilius. Just wonderful. Just don't go poking at your eyes with a long needle. At least until you receive a direct order to do so from your precious administratum. Oh, here you are. The secretary proffers the sealed certificate with care. And may the Emperor bless your path. Well, how are things on Janus anyway, now that we're here? Oh, well, beside the Xenos that have settled in our forests and periodically frightened the people, everything is calm, your ladyship. We have managed to come to an understanding of sorts, although not without concessions on our part, in particular regarding the placement of our new agri-complexes. The Emperor is my witness. Janus will continue to serve the von Valancia's dynasty, but not in precisely the same way as before. Alright. It'd be interesting to know what would have happened if we'd agreed to let him be servitorized? Is that how you say it? I don't think it's a particularly pleasant process. I appreciate his willingness to have it done, though. Right, well, let's get back to Dargonis. It's only a couple of warp jumps away. I mean, I could make it a direct route. Like, with 5 of these, I could make it so we could just, like, zip back and forth. Maybe I will. 1, 2, 3... Oh, it's only 3 jumps. I think it's fine. Don't know when these could come in useful. During the period designated as the night shift, the air throughout the ship suddenly turned stale. Those who were awake reported feeling incredibly tired. Those who were asleep later reported having horrible nightmares. The Xenos Yerliat, one of the Lord Captain's personal retinue, was found delirious. Oh no, we've had this one. Yeah, we had this one. I don't know why that first response wasn't grayed out. There we go. What was I going to do? I can't remember now. Let's just go back. I was going to do something before I went back, but I can't remember what it was. Right, back to Dargonis. We should find the other one in our palace. I'm not particularly expecting trouble, so I guess we'll keep Jay in for now. Just wonder if I might put Heinrichs in as well, for sort of story reasons. Let's take Cassia out for a bit, and we'll put Heinrichs in, and we'll go with that. Who are those two? It's actually a bit of pomp and circumstance for once, though, isn't it? Clemencia Wassarian. So is this Abelard's daughter? Don't know. The Emperor protects! Welcome home, your ladyship! The stately woman in a long, full dress uniform makes a graceful curtsy. Her short, greying hair does not obscure her stern features. I wonder if it's going to explain her relationship. I am Clementia Wassarian, Court Chancellor of the von Valancia's dynasty. On behalf of all of Dargonus, please accept my deepest condolences on the untimely passing of Theodora von Valancius. Her departure is a terrible blow to us all. But as one star expires, another always flares to life, and although still overcome with bitterness and grief, your subjects hope that you will become the Trade Dynasty's guiding light in these trying times. It doesn't seem particularly affectionate. Clementia? Abelard offers a reserved nod. She nods in return, and the lines on his brow soften ever so slightly. Well, for him, that's practically a hug, isn't it? Achilles Scalander. A respirator to his... The young man quickly brings a respirator to his burnt face and bows his head courteously. His raven black hair veils his burns and skull implants, and his thin metal fingers creak quietly as he offers a welcoming gesture. Achilles Scalander, Secretary at the Administratum Department. I hope your journey to Dargonus was not darkened by unwanted troubles? It was uneventful. I think we should praise the Emperor in front of all these people. The Emperor protected us on our journey through the stars. Achilles makes the sign of the Aquila. And may he remain merciful to us till the end of time. Does your ladyship wish to survey the grounds, or perhaps we could sate your curiosity by answering any questions you might have? Governor Urban Drivestem has been notified of your arrival on Dargonus and will visit the palace shortly. The preparations for the official visit are well in hand, but your ladyship still has plenty of time before the meeting. Hold on a minute, Clementia. What did you say your last name was? Clementia nods politely. You heard correctly, your ladyship. I am of House Wassarian, Lord Abelard's granddaughter and direct descendant. Oh, granddaughter, there we go. The succession of service is an effective good. It grants new generations understanding of their function within the mechanism. Chancellor Wassarian has held her position at the von Valancius court for many years. She earned Lord Captain Theodora's respect through acts of great perseverance. There's no room for doubt. Blood had nothing to do with it. Okay, the Emperor blesses those who strengthen humanity's domain through their deeds. You have reason to be proud of your progeny. Abelard looks at you in surprise, but then immediately puts on an air of indifference. Oh, well, thank you, Lord Captain. So why isn't the Governor here with you to greet me? Apologies, your ladyship. Governor Drivestem's residence is on the other side of the world, by the administrative palace of Dargonus. We sent word as soon as you entered the system, but it takes time to travel the great distances of your domain. Logic tests succeed. Chancellor Wassarian appears unruffled, but you cannot shake the thought that the governor's lateness is a subtle political gesture designed to test the limits of what is acceptable when it comes to interacting with the new rogue trader. I would like to rest before the meeting. Where are my chambers? They're very close, just down the hall. That is also where the study and the audience chamber are. Achilles' face brightens with a pearly white smile, restoring some of his former good looks. Lady Theodora's study has remained locked since our last departure, but on account of your arrival we've arranged for it to be tidied up. It is ready whenever you may need it. You are dismissed. I apologize for my bluntness, but I have a request to make. Perhaps, before the meeting takes place, the illustrious Lord Captain could spare a few minutes for a conversation with me. Achilles bows his head. I am certain you will find my report on the state of affairs in the von Valancius Protectorate most useful. Oh. Maybe. Spiders, and you've got to talk to Achilles. So we're on our own now. Is there any worth to roaming about the place? I don't really. Have a little look just round here. See what we can see. What's this? Don't know. Nothing's coming up. Found earlier, anyway. Ooh. What's this? An ancient cogitator linked to the palace's system network. So there's some goods up here. Let's go and nab those. It's not stealing if you're taking it from yourself. Up here. Ooh, it's another one. Tech use. Yeah, we can do that. Some tech priests down here. Oh, we toss a coin into the fountain. Not to our witcher, but still.
I see the forbidden.
Glinting in the light, the coin lands in the water and sinks to the bottom. Now, there was some... Oh, what's this? I'll take those. Now, is it worth going back through the arch and down here? You know, it might be. There's some stuff over here. It looks like we've got some sort of tour taking place. Don't worry about me, just looking for things I can loot. The plaque lists the names of each rogue trader to have led the Von Valancius dynasty, dating back to the day the capital world was founded. Ooh. What we got there? That's the end of the map. Some cannons. Imperium lore check. Standing upon the altar is an ancient image of Saint Macarius. Its regal frame is covered in marks. The relic was claimed in a battle on a remote and forgotten world. See Argenta down here paying her respects. I don't think we need to go and look at the cannons particularly. But look at the map. Anything I forgot? Doesn't seem like it. So let's go into the palace. Okay. So we're looking for Achilles, aren't we? Oh, is he going to find me? Welcome, your ladyship. Let's inform you of the location of the chambers on your dynastic estate. The main throne room is up the stairs and straight ahead. Your subject Achilles Scalander informed me that he humbly awaits the opportunity to meet with you there. If your ladyship wishes to rest after your long journey, then your personal chambers are up the stairs and on the right. If you need anything, whatever your soul desires, I'll be next to your chambers, eagerly awaiting your orders. Thank you. Okay. Right, who's that? Aristocrat. Right, well, let's go up to... Oh, go and grab that first. Some bubs. And we'll go up to our chambers first, I think. Might be something to loot in there. See, what have we got in here?
A revelation was sent to me.
The leather covers bear the names of the authors, mostly philosophers and theologians from Dargonus. The spines of the books are trimmed with gold. What have we got? We've got some boots. Breeze catcher boots. Whenever the wearer moves through a cell occupied by an enemy, the wearer gains plus 15% dodge against that enemy's attack until the wearer's next turn. Okay, so I can kind of see that having impact on Abelard's kind of dash through thing. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. We'll take them, but I'm not sure. It'll depend on what he's wearing at the moment. He's probably wearing something that's a bit better than that anyway. The cogitator is producing rhythmic sounds, among which a faint ringing stands out. There's blood on there. What? Why can't I examine that? There's blood dripping down the walls. Anyway, I missed what that said. The remains of a plaque can be seen on the frame. Alas, the inscription is completely indistinguishable due to the patina. Is it patina or patina? I never know how to pronounce that word.
How fascinating.
What we got? Bits and bobs. Got something here. Just some bits, no bobs this time. This antique piece of furniture is obviously well cared for, but its surface is still covered with a lot of scuffs, scratches, and stains. Traces of the previous rogue traders who sat at this table. I wonder if this is linked to our ship vault. It would be quite nice if it was. It is not. Multi-melter, two-handed ranged weapon. So, I mean, it costs a lot of AP to use. Low range. The largest type of melter weapon, usually only employed by the Adeptus Astartes or mounted upon Imperial vehicles. Interesting. Okay. Take that for now. I'm not going to put anything in here if it's not linked to my ship vault, because I can't imagine we're going to be here as often as we would be there. But we can see what's out here. Little balcony, perhaps? Oh, yeah. Can we see the city below? Can't get the camera any closer, but it's quite nice. Okay, well, that's about it for here. Oh, what's this? Ah, bedchamber. Does it mean, or does that look like a secret panel? Oh, you can spot them. You played these sort of games for a while. The bed for the head of the Rogue Trader dynasty is befitting the status of its owner. What have we got? Secret things. Work our way round. The shelves of the library are laden with dusty tomes. Your eyes linger on the works of several administratum adepts and the memoirs of some unfamiliar explorer on distant death worlds. Bits bobs. What's in here? Bits and bobs. It's over there. A mysterious item undoubtedly created by inhuman hands. What I'll do is we'll come back and do that side of the room after we've done this. A mysterious... Is that the same thing? It's the same text. An empty glass and 3 unopened bottles of wine sit on a finely crafted table made from dark marbled wood. Sumptuous couch upholstered in fine cloth that appears garish in the mellow lighting, and it does not look comfortable. Rare books arrayed on these shelves with their lavish, almost pretentious bindings seem to be identical. Crackling and a barely audible plaintive melody come from the old, worn speakers. Alright, well, let's sit down. The secret room is remarkably quiet and almost homely. Perhaps your predecessor used it when she sought complete solitude. Listening to the muted melody coming from the Vox speaker, you can easily imagine Theodora reading a book with a glass of expensive wine in hand. Let's have a glass of wine. 3 sealed bottles sit on the sturdy-looking low table. They are labelled Grandmaster's Blood, Boon of Terror, and Flame of Purity. Let's have a Boon of Terror. The full-bodied wine is sickly sweet, and you feel a warm sluggishness will wash over your body. Oh, a siren shatters the tranquil atmosphere in the room. Alarms have been sounded. Say what? In the name of the Rogue Trader, House of Von Valancius, whoever has entered her lady's chambers will be eliminated. Where's me? Your ladyship? Oh, deepest apologies for the intrusion. Do you require any assistance? On second thought, we'd better just leave you in peace. Well, that was unusual. I am going to guess that there is a puzzle here. And I don't have the solution yet. When the wearer hits an ally with an area attack, the wearer gains a stack of the Zealot effect until the end of combat. Deals 10% damage with their area effects for each stack. Interesting. I don't really want to be hitting allies with stuff, though. These gloves grant the wearer a +10 bonus to tech, and also... Wow, that's a great pair of gloves for Pascal there. I'm going to go back and sit in that chair again. I'm just looking for clues. A mysterious Xeno artifact rests in a stasis field. Okay, well that's about it for this room, but I'm very curious about this seat here. Let's try another bottle. What about the... Well, I don't know if it is a puzzle, because we've lost an option. Grandmaster's Blood, we'll have that. Oh dear. But... Someone doesn't like us drinking their wine. Sorry, it's just me again. Trespassers, surrender or be killed. Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah. Okay, well we'll skip these as they happen, but we'll try again. We will have the Flame of Purity now and see what happens. The wine fills the glass, glittering in the dim light of the room like liquid gold. Its tangy flavour burns your throat, leaving behind a spicy, biting aftertaste. You hear a short, faint hum as an unseen motor stirs into action. Choose a book. Several books are stacked next to the sofa. Some appear ancient, while others look like they have never been opened. The cover of the book titled Litanies of the Motive Force looks rather hefty, as though its spine contains a miniature device of some sort. Well, we'll look at that one then. As you pick up the book, a hidden button in its spine clicks under your finger. Right, we change the music. The vid screen of the data slate before you displays the names of several Vox symphonies. You recognise the melody that is playing right now. It is the first of 36 parts of the Symphony of Honour and Duty. We'll choose the next one. It goes back to normal without any change. Oh, something's happened. Retrieve the hidden cache. Oh, this is what we were doing. Ah, okay. The room responds to your actions with a quiet grinding sound, and a small nook reveals itself in the nearby wall. Inside, you find a databank bearing the von Valancius coat of arms. Ooh. Where that then? I might pop back to the void ship actually and check that out. Pop it into our cogitator on the bridge, can't we? I think it's probably worth doing. So I don't know. Don't know anything. I don't know if we'll get locked into stuff if we sort of progress with the main story on Dargonus. So let's pop back to the void ship. Well, we can. I definitely not do it on the main map. Just sure, I watched a video before I started playing this that said, you know, when you're on, you can go on the map and just click on the ship and go straight there. Never been able to do it though, so I don't know if that was patched out or something. Anyway, it's not a huge map anyway. Alright, so we want to go back to the bridge. I quite want to get into another void ship combat because I want to test out all my new guns and stuff. I think we've had quite a few upgrades since the last proper ship battle we had. Like, I quite like the sound of the torpedoes we can fire every turn, if that's how they work. You know, I'm keen to find that out as well. Right, so let's take it to our little computer over here. Let's do this. La la la. Okay, continue. So we've received her personal notes. Strings of numerical code begin appearing with frightening speed. This time the numbers are interspersed with words you can understand, and those words form legible sentences. Epitaph brought her to the beginning. Epitaph begot the incident, that which destroyed and changed everything. The incident became the starting point. The incident breathed life and marked the beginning of all. It marked the beginning of Nomos. It created Nomos. The tech priest, now alarmed, is tapping the keys on the control panel. His binaric prayer gives way to distressed whispering. Unacceptable deviation, violation of the sacred protocols, possibility of tech heresy. Omnissiah, shield us from all heresy. A few moments later, the vid screen darkens and flickers to life again. Input prompt. I saw a word among the lines of code. Nomos. What does it mean? That is a mystery to me. If this mechanism truly is tainted, then could it be? The tech priest's mechadendrite jitters anxiously over the control panel. If heresy truly has taken hold of this machine spirit and scorned the Omnissiah's every tenet, then the spirit's madness could be such that it has chosen a name for itself. But that is nothing more than my hypothesis. You will report this to Pascal. The tech priest bows guiltily and his mechanical voice becomes hollow and dejected. My knowledge is insufficient to clean the code of this mechanism. I will inform the esteemed Engineer Prime of this disturbing development. Only he has the power to expel the heresy from this corrupted machine spirit. Okay, did we get something I can read? That's not it. Okay, I found the cache. I can probably drop those notes now. Is this what I found? I don't think so. It's this, isn't it? Deleted entry damaged. Trader like a lackey. It is humiliating and dispiriting to put up with the part of an errand servant to an imperious madman vested with even greater power than that of any rogue trader. Alas, when one side of the scales holds my pride and the other the fate of the von Valancius Protectorate and my entire bloodline, choice becomes a futile illusion. It would be far too naive of me not to prepare for the worst. Epitaph will decide the future of the Expanse as a whole, but I have some time at my disposal until then. Heirs with the von Valancius blood in them will soon be located and brought to me. I cannot afford to delay the choice of my successor any longer. Well, there we go. Alright, you know what, I'm going to dump a load of stuff I don't think I need anymore. So, these 16 mysteries, they can go. This decayed scroll can go. I don't know what these dried berries are for. I'm going to keep those for now. Drop that. I mean, these aren't getting lost. They just sit on my bridge until if I need them. Cash stuff can go. This is the aristocrat notebook that can go. That's just for. Oh, can I add those to cargo? Guess I'll keep those. I'm going to drop this worn seal though. Yeah, we don't need the Rebel Vox anymore. Tech Blight, probably drop that for now. Actually, one thing. Oh god, look at all this stuff. Let's look at what Abelard's using at the moment. So he's got this. He's got Melter Ultimate at the moment. What's the benefit of this one? More damage, less armor penetration, less range, but more ammo. Costs more to use. So on balance, which is better? Probably the Ultima, to be fair. At some point, maybe after I've stopped recording this episode, I'm going to go through all this junk. It might make sense for Argenta, though, to carry one of these good trauma kits. Like that. Yeah, what cloak is he using? It's not bad. Oh, we got gloves for Pascal, didn't we? Yeah, let's have a look at these. So at the moment he's got 10 ballistic skill and 25% critical damage, which is pretty good. But this one increases the damage of all plasma weapon shots by 3, so I think that's probably worthwhile. Cloak-wise. Each enemy killed by his area attacks increases the damage until the end of combat. So yeah, that's pretty good. What's Heinrich's using? Yeah, I don't know about that one. He is someone who will be in melee, so that could work, I guess. It's pretty good on him. Seems a shame not to equip this on anyone. Sargent, so she's got the big flamer, hasn't she? Which I do quite like. She can't actually use the melter. That's Owlcat. No, maybe he can't. He certainly can use melter weapons, but he doesn't have the strength for this one because it's a heavy weapon. So, okay, well, let's leave that for now. Let's head back down to Dargonis then. And we'll get started on our coronation, I suppose. I haven't found the person for Jay's thing yet, so we'll leave her in for now. Okay, let's go with that. It might be Achilles, I suppose. Not sure. Back to the palace. Let's move. Right, so let's go up to the throne room then. Let's go and find Achilles. Can't remember his surname. Was it Scalander or something like that? What's this? According to the inscription on the statue, this is a gift from House Gaprak to the von Valancius dynasty. What have we got here? KJ's over there. Clementia might even be the person we need to speak to on behalf of Jay. I suppose we could go and do that. Just going to do like a little loop of the room. Yeah, we do have some goods here, in fact. Take everything, because I've got a lot of reputation to build up with the traders. Doing pretty good on the profit factor front. We just need to raise up, our levels with everyone. Mistress Haydari, my patience is not easily exhausted, but you're coming very close. I shall repeat myself again. No, I will not be issuing you any seal, not in exchange for your honest word, nor for a bribe. I can see the family resemblance with Abelard now. You cannot see further than your own nose, my dear Clementia. It wasn't a bribe, it was a gift. Now about that seal. Let the rogue trader decide. Your ladyship, I apologize for this ugly scene, but might I ask that you rein in Mistress Haydari and put a stop to her inflammatory actions toward me? As the Exalted One is my witness, Shireen, I've tried everything I could to spare you any unnecessary headache over the seals for the Mercatum Tabula Officiale. I even showed this aid with a temper worse than a sandstorm the certificate with your signature. But your Chancellor merely kept batting me away with her flail of baseless denials. I suspect that the reason for this has nothing to do with my humble personage. Clementia purses her lips and glowers at Jay. Oh no, this isn't about me at all. Jay narrows her eyes as she peers into Clementia's face until the latter finally looks away. I see. Well, Chancellor, will you tell us yourself, or should I help you? Well, what's the matter? I'm afraid that my words may anger your ladyship. Clementia lowers her head in shame as is offering it up to be removed from her shoulders. The seal you are looking for was lost over a quarter of a century ago. Her ladyship, Lady von Theodora von Valancius, ordered a new one to be delivered from the Imperium, but as you well know, we are a long way away from Holy Terror, and with warp storms ravaging the Cronus Expanse, we've been unable to receive a replacement to this day. I presume the one responsible was punished promptly and harshly? Rest assured, Theodora von Valancius ordered to have the malefactor dealt with accordingly. Servitude in perpetuis, your ladyship. He now performs his duties to the Imperium without reservation or error. However, she refers to her data slate, one of the worlds under Caligos Winterscale's rule, like Dargonus, was granted the honour of keeping the sacred sigils of the Administratum. The archives of House von Valancius mention 3 systems that are presently under the control of House Winterscale. Those would be the Forgotten Twins, Langren's Belt, and the Nameless Star. I am confident that the Administratum Palace is located on one of the planets there. We have a better chance of finding the seal in the pocket of some rich collector or fence than on the remote world owned by one of your rivals, Shireen. I suggest we make contact with any traders we may encounter in our travels. People in my line of work tend to have a good eye for such things. There is every possibility that someone has waited their whole life to fleece, to return the great relic to its rightful owner. There's something I must discuss with the Chancellor in private. Oh, by all means, Shireen. I dare not waste any more of the precious balm that is your time on matters related to me, if I may excuse myself. Well, I did find the seal. I think I've just dropped it on the flagship, so I need to go back up there. But I might pause while I do that process. But let's see if I can just... If the game knows that I've got it. Let's just check. Could it be that you found the lost seal, your ladyship? Or have you perhaps brought a copy from a distant Winterscale world? Not yet. Okay, so I've got to go back up to the ship. I've definitely got it, because it commented on it when I found it ages ago. Does Scalander cause any problems? Why, none at all, your ladyship. Secretary Scalander is an outstanding individual and a loyal servant of the von Valancius dynasty. In Lady Theodora's absence, we collaborated on a number of issues related to the well-being of your domain, and he has proven himself quite capable. And I don't know why, but even the governor trembles before Achilles, which is unusual for a man of his, shall we say, standing. I must take my leave. Right, so I'm going to pause here while I dash back up to the flagship and grab those seals, because I'm pretty sure that's what we need. Okay, well, I've made my way back after having got the things back. I don't know why she's turned purple is the only thing. Your ladyship? Clementia bows her head politely. For a chancellor to a rogue trader, she is dressed rather simply. A parade doublet, polished boots, and a comfortable cloak. She bears a sabre in a gilded scabbard. Whether for show or protection, one could not say. Only her ring with the Wassarian coat of arms indicates that she is of the highest social stratum. The governor is waiting on the periphery of the palace. Please let me know when you would like to see him. The sharp gaze, the impeccably straight back, the composure. For a moment you feel like you're looking at a younger version of Abelard himself, not his heir. Judging by the scars on the exposed parts of her body, Clementia saw her fair share of combat prior to assuming the position of Chancellor. Okay, let's get this thing done. Could it be that you found the lost seal, your ladyship? Or have you, perhaps, brought a copy from a distant Winterscale world? Could this be the seal in question? Oh, this is without doubt the Administratum seal from Winterscale's realm. But why is it the original and not a copy? Oh, I think I understand. Well, the laws of the Imperium do not prohibit heirs of other houses from using the seal in times of need. I will order to have the servants of the machine cult create a duplicate so as to avoid such embarrassing predicaments in the future. Gonna leave for now. Because I want to go and speak to Achilles, who's over here. The slender figure, clad in robes made from expensive fabric, shudders from violent coughing. Pressing a gilded respirator to his face, the man takes several deep breaths. Achilles, it's been many moons. I hope your cousin is feeling well. Achilles covers his burnt lips, trying and failing to suppress a coughing fit. She is in good health. She sends her regards to you as well as her wishes for your swift return. Heinrichs frowns. For as long as the stars shine in the sky, my vigil continues. So it does. Achilles thumps himself on the chest with his augmented hand. You hear the clanging of metal against metal. Let's succeed in logic. I'm not so foolish as to fail to notice a conversation in code. Your insight deserves credit, rogue trader. Then again, I expected nothing less from Theodora von Valancius' successor. He looks at Achilles. Allow me to introduce Achilles Scalander properly. In addition to his duties as Secretary of the Administratum, he acts as an agent of the Golden Throne under my aegis. Master Scalander was transferred into my remit by a colleague who was engaged in other matters in the Cronus Expanse. I'm sure he will find Achilles' service useful, especially when dealing with the schemes of humanity's foes within the borders of your protectorate. Greetings, Lady Dahlia von Bernicus von Valancius. Allow me once again to express my deepest condolences on the loss of Lady Theodora. I will do everything I can to track down and destroy all of Conrad Voidvir's accomplices on our capital world. Do you know anything about what's become of Conrad? Achilles nods grimly. Word of his treason reached Argonis too late. Conrad came to the planet and left it almost immediately, once he had sown discord in the minds of the gullible and naive. The worst of the rumours he started was that you were the one responsible for Lady Theodora's sudden demise. Of course, your loyal subjects did their best to skin alive any who showed signs of doubt. But it seems unlikely that the Wardens got to everyone who has allowed doubt into their heart and now nurtures it in secret. So what happened to your face? About 5 years ago, there was an accident. Several tanks of promethium exploded in the storehouse at my estate, and I was buried alive under the rubble. The Emperor preserved my soul, and the skilled physicians of Dargonus saved my body, except for my lungs, with which I had to part. I presume the incident was an attempt on my life, but the identity of whoever was behind it remains a mystery.
What are your responsibilities here?
Officially, I'm a secretary at this world's administratum department. Less officially, I'm afraid I can't disclose that even to you. In short, I collect and investigate reports of heresy taking root on upstanding planets of humanity. Above all else, I'm concerned about the Xenos threat that hangs over the entire Corona's expanse, including your protectorate. Sadly, my mission was complicated by the recent warp disturbances. I am still trying to re-establish contact with many of my agents.
Tell me about Xenos.
The residents of the local systems are no strangers to skirmishes with enemies of humanity, but recently the loathsome beasts seem to have completely flown off the handle. We're receiving reports from ships that made it through the warp to Dargonus. Both they and the colonies that they departed from are being attacked. We have identified the breed of Xenos that pose this threat, the Drakari, humanity's ancient and insidious foes. Be vigilant on your travels. The Xenos will undoubtedly attack a rogue trader ship should they find the circumstances to be in their favor. Unfortunately, in the host of humanity there are those who are willing to grovel before our enemies in the hopes of a valuable reward. You may be interested to know that we're on the trail of such heretics.
Achilles glances at a data slate.
Overwhelming evidence indicates that a marauded void station in Lankran's belt is being used as a base by a band of pirates who are not above dealing with Xenos.
I think we've destroyed them, because that was a rumour. I remember it in our journal, looking it up after I'd been there.
I was unable to persuade the Chancellor of the need to dispatch a ship there, but perhaps you would like to pay a courtesy call to these scoundrels yourself.
Do you know anything about the cult of the Final Dawn?
My knowledge is deplorably limited, Your Ladyship. All my attention has been focused on tracking Xenos activity. I'm certain that Master Van Galox can tell you much more about those heretics than I.
About your unofficial work?
Yes.
Who do you truly serve, the rogue trader or the interrogator of the Inquisition? He quickly glances at Heinrichs.
And whom does the rogue trader serve? The Golden Throne? The Protectorate? Could it be that one stems from the other? And if so, is there any sense in discussing it?
Well, he's not going to give us a list of agents, so I think we've learned all we wanted to. You promised me a report on the present state of affairs in the Protectorate.
I've already forwarded all official reports to your Seneschal. As for the conversation we're having right now, I wouldn't trust any paper or data slate with its contents. You see, Lady Theodora, may the Emperor have mercy on her soul, was perfectly aware of Dargonus' political environment. You, however, have only just arrived on the capital world, and I thought it would be best to bring you up to speed. Frankly, the nobles of Dargonus, much like nobles on most worlds, are akin to spiders in a jar, ready to pounce on whoever is weakest, or whomever they deem to be the weakest. The nobles of Dargonus are well-respected, rich and powerful individuals who held Lady Theodora's favor for many years and found ways to rise above the rest by diligently serving the rogue trader. Every family pursues its own selfish interests, and each one expects that with the transition of power, they will retain and even add to their lands and wealth. Families I would recommend giving particular attention to are the Drivestems, the Gapraks, and the Sourbacks. I would also mention the Wassarians. Not a noble house per se, but a family that was part of Lady Theodora's inner circle, to the Blue Bloods' great displeasure.
Tell me about the Drivestems.
The Drivestems are the ancient governor house of Dargonus. Predictably, the greater the wealth of the von Valancius Protectorate, the fuller their coffers grow. Their reputation is flawless except for one detail. We have evidence that Urban Drivestem's rivals seem to have the misfortune of regularly falling victim to Xenos raids. I find these attacks are always a little too advantageous for the Drivestems, but we lack solid proof, and it might never surface.
The closer an official is to a rogue trader, the braver and safer they feel. I would just like to remind everyone that rubbing shoulders with Xenos is a heresy that can be overlooked only in the case of the von Valancius heir, not her servant. What makes the Gapraks special?
The Gapraks hail from a remote forge world, and among their distant relatives, there are many servants of the Omnissiah, and the house itself is close to the cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus, both in spirit and in their business connections. The Gapraks oversaw the industrial shipments within your protectorate until recently. Ever since the astropathic communication with Kiava Gamma was severed, they've been quite concerned about the security of the planet placed in their care.
I've been to Kiava Gamma already. The planet was tainted by the cult of the Final Dawn.
Achilles shakes his head. These are grim tidings. It's a tragedy that an industrial world of such tremendous capacity was brought down by the pernicious influence of the archenemy. Perhaps my colleagues can pick up the cultist trail in the cold void. Of course, it would be a small consolation to all of us.
What can you tell me about House Sourback?
Religious and hard-working. The Sourbacks own many enterprises, including distillation manufactorums that produce promethium. I must note that lately members of the Sourback family have been prone to overly liberal statements about the von Valancius dynasty. They believe that Lady Theodora is a bit too keen to leave her worlds without proper oversight.
I would like to know more about the Wassarians.
The Wassarians are a line founded by Lady Theodora's seneschal, and as such are nominally considered nobility, at least from the standpoint of the Imperial Navy from which Lord Abelard hails. On Dargonus, however, their position is precarious. Firstly, they never were granted an official title, a process which has been impeded for decades by the old houses of Dargonus, and secondly, the other families do not see them as equals, but more as upstarts clinging to the road traders' favour. The Wassarians are responsible for the capital world's fleet and the majority of the cargo shipments on domestic routes.
After hearing all that, I now feel the urge to have every one of those sycophants executed at once.
Achilles shrugs. You are naturally well within your right, rogue trader. But remember that this will cause the multi-layered bureaucratic system of Dargonus, of your entire protectorate in fact, to come apart at the seams. And that's not even considering the likelihood of attempted reprisals from their families and allies. I would hold off on the death sentences. Act with restraint and wisdom. Present for all to see sufficient proof of sufficient proof of the unwanted house's guilt. Do not mistake me, mass executions are one way to solve your problems, but in that case you should weigh up every possible scenario before you act.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk to me about?
There was, your ladyship, and this time it concerns the main reason for my presence on this planet, Xenos, and a threat they pose both to you and to humanity as a whole. The last few months have been difficult for the people who report to me, my eyes and ears scattered throughout the Coronis expanse. Warp disturbances, astropaths overcome with madness, ships disappearing in the Immaterium. Many of my observers and contacts have gone dark or have been killed by some calamity or other. Still, I managed to establish communication with some key, individuals who were able to warn me about incoming threats, including Xenos raids.
He looks you in the eye without blinking.
It is within my power to supply you with intelligence on where and when the Xenos will strike next. I do not doubt that Governor Drivestem will beg you for protection against the Xenos, and in this fight, the information from my contacts will serve you well. I beseech you, Dahlia von Brunicus, if I ever report a threat looming over a ship or a planet, do not dismiss it. Sometimes it takes an intervention from the rogue trader and her mighty void ship to avert a disaster.
I must take my leave.
He bows. According to the message I received a few minutes ago, Governor Drivestem has arrived at court. I imagine that the Chancellor is already prepared to arrange the meeting. All that's left is to notify her that you are ready to see Urbend.
Let's go do that thing. Let's go visit the Purple Chancellor. I don't know quite what's happened there. Let's save, just in case something... game instability or something is at fault. Okay, so we've kept him waiting a little bit. So let's tell him that we're ready. Clementia bows before leaving. I shall arrange for him to be escorted to your study. Governor Urban Drivestem.
Dahlia von Berinicus von Valancius, the 20th in her line. Rogue trader, keeper of the sacred warrant, and ruler of the Coronis expanse from the Chronax system to the 100 Dreams crossroads. I bid you welcome. Urban Drivestem, governor of this great world. First and foremost, please accept my deepest condolences. Oh, it will be difficult to recover from the loss of a woman as great as Theodora von Valancius. Oh, it pains me to think that she is no longer with us. The citizens of Dargonus and of the entire Protectorate grieve alongside you. Please allow us to declare half a year of mourning so that we can honor the memory of our beloved lady.
Theodora von Valancius deserves more than that. You will declare a full year of mourning.
Oh, I will immediately give all necessary instructions, your ladyship.
He casually presses a few buttons on the cogitator built into his gold bracer.
Esteemed Dahlia von Veridicus, Lady Theodora was a strong leader, and we ought to follow her example. Let us lean on our wisdom and persevere in spite of this tragedy. Together, and let us carry on where she no longer can, by leading the von Valancius Protectorate to even greater prosperity.
Drivestem gives you a look of admiration. It seems that he is quite aware of your fame, and this opportunity to curry favour with such an eminent figure is one he does not wish to miss.
Alas, it won't be an easy task to accomplish. Some time ago, the astropaths of Dargonus flew into a rage, and they had to be subdued. We are gradually restoring our ability to speak with neighbouring worlds, but the contacts are still weak, and the routes are tangled and no longer lead to the systems that the captains expect them to. Given that the vast majority of ships in the Dargonus Navy travel without relying on the service of navigators, without your engagement, the well-being of the von Valancius dynasty and billions of its subjects is presently at risk.
We met a ship from Dargonus not too long ago. The crew was transporting a strange artifact and went mad during the flight.
Oh, this is a truly regrettable bit of news. What's more, leaving Dargonus has been forbidden for several cycles now. It seems the Wissarian family has once again failed in their primary responsibilities.
He shoots Abelard a condescending look. We will investigate this at once, as well as the fact that the ship had to acquire a permit with the Administratum seal. Does your nephew still serve at the Administrative Palace? The governor presses a number of buttons on the cogitator built into his bracer and looks up at you in surprise.
I don't understand. The ship did indeed depart from orbit, but it did so, if you can believe it, on the rogue trader's authorization. That is why no one dared to impede its departure.
Lord Captain, it would seem that Conrad somehow got his hands on a copy of your authorization. Perhaps even the original. A tool like that in the hands of a traitor does not bode well. Conrad Voitvir, former Master of Whispers, is a heretic and a traitor. Has he shown his face on Dargonus? The governor pensively strokes the rings glittering on his fingers.
Lord Voitvir visited the capital some time ago, but he did not request a personal meeting. A heretic, you say? Now I see where all the whispering in the corridors has come from. I shall be frank with you, your ladyship. Lady Theodora's sudden death was a blow to every one of us, and the absence of any sort of verifiable and complete information about her successor gives grounds for all manner of rumours and misinterpretations, especially if someone is deliberately inciting unrest and discontent. Naturally, none would dare challenge you by accusing you of something as sacrilegious as murdering a rogue trader. However, Conrad Voitvir was once a true boon of the Protectorate back in the day, and as such, some might heed his words.
Oh no. Everyone who's dared to make heretical remarks to become servitors. Probably rip out the vocal cords and tongues of every slanderer. Oh. Let's go Iconoclast. It's kind of our speed, isn't it? My subject's doubts are understandable. Too many things have changed in too short a span. I will prove myself worthy of my position.
Why, Dahlia von Verinicus, your desire is most commendable. But please do not forget, a ruler should never bow to their attendants, or some might see it as a show of weakness.
What exactly did the Dargonus nobility expect from me in light of the loss of routes and communication with other worlds?
We're all troubled by the fate of the agri-world Janus that supplied Dargonus and other planets with foodstuffs. Empty stomachs can drive even the mildest rabble to revolt. Furthermore, House Gasprak is perturbed by the loss of communication with the industrial world Kiava Gamma, which is in their charge. But if you wish to know my opinion, the world that deserves your attention most is the penal world Vebos 6. one of the key mining supplies in your protectorate.
Was that Foulstone? I can't remember. Such intriguing concern for Virbos 6. Doesn't your house happen to own the extraction stations there? Drivestem's beady eyes widen in fear.
Your ladyship, I beg of you, do not interpret my words as an attempt to influence your decisions in any way. You see, without Virbos 6, the manufactorums on your worlds will need to make haste to find new supplies elsewhere and arrange for new shipments. And in these troubling times, they run the risk of delays and other tragic mishaps. My only concern is for the prosperity of the von Valancius dynasty.
I've already been to Kiava Gamma. The industrial world was overtaken by a cult of chaos worshippers. Drivestem pauses, mulling over the gravity of your words.
Such woeful tidings, your ladyship. I assume that House Gasbrack is in for an official investigation? If I may remind you, they have particularly close ties to the Adeptus Mechanicus and serve as patrons of Kiava Gamma. Not to speak in the defense of criminals, your ladyship, but from where I stand, the outbreak of heresy on Kiava could hardly have been perpetrated by a noble family who stands to lose the majority of their wealth should the industrial world fall.
I doubt the Gaprax had anything to do with this incident.
I am glad that our views on this matter align, your ladyship. But what of the industrial world? Are we to expect trade to recommence?
The production facilities of Kiava Gamma will serve humanity once more, rest assured.
Oh, House Gaprak will be overjoyed to hear it. I thank you for dispelling the darkness around the fate of Kiava Gamma.
I've already visited Janus. Governor Viat found herself facing a number of problems in my absence.
Truly? Oh, the Viat line is one of the oldest in the von Valancius protectorate. If the inheritor of such well-respected blood could not handle whatever had befallen her, then the situation must have been extraordinary indeed.
But Vistenza succumbed to worshipping the ruinous powers and was executed. Drivestem pales in terror. It is clear from the unseemly grimace on his aristocratic countenance that his fear is not feigned.
Ruinous powers? Oh, truly horrifying news. Oh, I commend your resolve and unwavering severity. Death to the enemies of humanity.
Now that does it for the planets and the trade routes. What else?
Xenos, your ladyship. Oh, I don't rightly know where to begin.
He rubs the bridge of his nose wearily.
Otherworldly beasts are not an uncommon sight in the Coronis expanse. They have been a menace to the worlds this side of the Moor for decades. Now those abominations are on the rampage. They show no signs of fear as they attack ships, neither damaging them to the point where they become unfit for transport duty, or outright gutting them. Only you have the power to stop this madness. We are in the process of restoring the astropathic choir of Dargonus. Luckily, we were forced to slay only some of the deranged psychers, although those that remain are as yet unable to transmit messages. I hope Master Scalander will keep his word and offer you his support in the war against the Xenos. According to his reports, the region of Virbos 6 has been of particular concern in the last few cycles, which is all the more reason to discover the colony's fate as soon as possible. Now, to issues on a smaller scale. There is a degree of tension in the capital due to the unorthodox succession to the Sacred Warrant. Chances of uprising are minimal, of course, and the spreading of rumours is nothing but a sign of weakness of mind and spirit. Nonetheless, I have prepared a list of minor houses that have demonstrated unseemly discomposure at your succession. What is to be done about them?
Public purges. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar, but that seems a bit weak, doesn't it? Eliminate the most prominent malcontents quietly, but do not threaten entire families. Hopefully these steps will be enough to keep the rest from causing any more trouble.
Oh, once your ladyship's wrath descends upon the guilty, have no doubt there wouldn't be a soul on Dargonus willing to share their fate. Oh, and one last thing, your ladyship. Your inauguration as bearer of the sacred warrant is but a matter of time, and I would like to inquire about one crucial detail. I imagine you are intending to uphold the centuries-long tradition, bolstered by an equally long-lasting friendship, of being represented on Dargonus by one of the noble houses. I presume that, as before, this duty will be accorded to House Drivestem.
I mean, he hasn't given me particular reason to dislike him. I mean, he is a bit pompous, but that might just be my portrayal of him. One moment, which houses can represent me at the ceremony?
No, any of the noble houses located on Dargonus, the Drivestem family, which I lead, the Gaprak family with long ties to the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Salbaks known for their piety and diligence in service. Perhaps I should also mention the Wessarians, who have some influence, but are not actually of noble origin. Any one of those houses would be honoured to represent you at the ceremony.
I mean, we're going to give it to the Wessarians, aren't we? Because we like Abelard, and his granddaughter seems nice as well and seems competent, so let's do it. Abelard turns to you and bows respectfully.
Lord Captain, to accompany you at such a critical hour is the greatest honour for the Wessarian bloodline. Have no fear, we will not fail you.
Drivestem tosses Abelard a look that lacks even the smallest shred of respect.
Forgive my boldness, but I must remind you that the Wessarians, whose lineage traces back to a navy officer, are not of the Dargonus nobility. Such decisions may have adverse effects on your subjects' loyalty, your ladyship.
Drivestem's face breaks into a bitter smile.
I shall immediately relay your commands, most gracious rogue trader. Thank you for your time.
When's the ceremony?
I'm afraid that until you deal with pressing issues, the ceremony will have to be postponed. Many trade routes are still unavailable, and the central worlds of the Von Valance's protectorate are going through a crisis. And the warp disturbances, if void observers are to be believed, will prevent important guests from reaching the capital.
That'll be all, I take it.
Oh, thank you for your time, your ladyship. Since duty calls, I shall take my leave. May the Emperor's grace be with you.
So we're going to his planet, aren't we? Just looking at the journal entries going up there. So we're going to go to Mortus Aces. I don't remember that. That's interesting. So I've got to go back and do that as well. But I think we'll probably leave it there for now. I think that's probably a good place to leave it. When we come back, we'll finish off that seal thing, assuming that is the final step. And then we'll go to Via Boss 6. So thanks very much for watching this. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm really enjoying this game. In fact, you know, truthfully, I've started another campaign off camera just because I was enjoying playing it so much. You know, only playing it for like an hour a day or so was a bit of a grind. So I thought, you know, in my off hours, I'll play my own little campaign. I'm still way behind. I'm still like, you know, only just started on. I haven't even reached footfall yet, so a long way back. But you know, just enjoying it a lot. Let me know if you are as well in the comments. It's great to hear. And you know, if you're watching this and haven't already subscribed to the channel, it'd be amazing if you could. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.